Welcome to DayZ. Hello, my friends, and welcome. My name is Cameron, or as many of you know me, Mahogany. Today, we're going to be going over weapon tier lists, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on which of these guns are better than others. I'm a 7,000 hour plus player that has devoted a large part of my life to this game. I've competed in some of the biggest tournaments hosted by the devs and other community members, and I've performed quite well in those. So I have a good understanding of all these guns and their place in the game. When we're going through this tier list, it's important to note that I'm not going to judge a Mosin for how good it does close quarter combat and put it in the D tier. I'm going to judge it for how well it does the thing that it does. So with that being said, let's get into it. First off, we have the IJ here. I'm going to go ahead and put this in F tier. It is shooting 380 ammo out of a very short barrel, and in DayZ, the length of the barrel of your gun often determines, like, this is a very basic way to understand it. There are exceptions, but often determines how much damage you do. So as you can see, we have a very short barrel here. It does very little damage, but I've killed guys in plate carriers with this gun. Any gun can be deadly, but this one is just particularly undeadly. Next up, we have the M Glock. We're gonna go ahead and put this in the D tier. It is shooting 9x19, which is actually a really good round for a pistol. You find a lot of 9x19 in the police stations early on, and it has a 15 round magazine. You can put a suppressor on it, pistol optic. It is pretty good, but we're going to put it in D tier right there. We're going to go ahead and put the P1 at the very bottom of the list, no matter what happens. I mean, I can't think of anything I'm going to put above this thing. I hate this pistol. It is putting out very little damage, and it jams constantly. I don't know why, if they coded it this way, they wanted all of us to despise one item collectively, but that pistol is garbage. Leave it behind. Next up, we have the CR. I'm going to put this right behind the Glock. They're pretty much identical pistols. They both have 15 rounds shooting 9x19. Next up, we have the FNX. I'm going to put this in C tier. Now, the difference when we're talking about pistols is 0.45, when you shoot an infected with it, is going to stagger the infected. Generally speaking, if we're shooting an infected with a pistol, we want to do it with a suppressor, and we're aiming for the head anyway. So this is kind of not that important, but it goes to point out that there's more of a knockout power in the 0.45 ammo than there is the 9mm. So I'm going to put the FNX right here in C tier. Next up, we have the Derringer. As promised before, P1 will always be at the bottom of the list, so we're going to put it in F tier. This is shooting 357 ammo, and as we could see, very similar to what I said about the Makarov, a very short barrel. So 357 ammo has already been nerfed through the floor, and then on top of that, you give it this really short barrel. It barely does any damage. You can knock someone out if you hit him with both bullets. In general, not the strongest pistol in the game. Next up, we have the Deagle. This is shooting 357 once again. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in C tier right behind the FNX. I prefer the FNX personally. 15 round magazine, shoots way faster, way better control. The Deagle can have a suppressor, and it can have this optic right here that we see on the Longhorn, that pistol handgun scope. With that being said, I mean, as much as you feel sexy when you use this bad boy, like, the application of you using a pistol and a scope and a suppressor is very rare. You'd rather be using a lot of alternatives, so that's not really what a pistol is made for. A pistol is made for quick access, taking care of things like on the ready. And the Deagle just doesn't really offer that as much as the FNX does, or some of the other pistols. We have a 1911 here shooting 0.45, just like the FNX, but it shoots it out of a 7 round magazine. So we're gonna put it at the top of F tier. I think it's a really not good pistol. It's not very good. I just don't like it. And I think these two pistols, I would always take these two pistols over this one if I had all the assorted ammo. Next up, we have the Longhorn shooting 308, which is the strongest bullet in the game as far as I understand. A really powerful round. I take that back, but a really powerful round, but it shoots it out this handgun scope, and you can only put one bullet in it at a time. It doesn't really pack the punch as much as you would expect it to. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in F tier, and I know a lot of people love the Longhorn, so I may have just like had a couple people tune off. I'm gonna look on my analytics. It's gonna be a giant drop right there, but a lot of people like this gun, but in reality, it just doesn't really do much for you, in my opinion. Next up, we have the Revolver. Although 357, as I said, has been nerfed through the floor, I want to put this above the Deagle. Honestly, I'm going to put it above the Deagle, actually. This gun cannot jam. The Revolver cannot jam. If you shoot a plate carrier with 3 bullets from this bad boy, they're going down. These two guns have pretty relative damage to each other, if I'm not mistaken. The only difference is this Deagle needs a magazine. This guy does not. So you can just reload on the ready as long as you have ammo, kind of like the SKS, right? Has an internal magazine, as you can see the little cylinder there. It's a really strong gun, really incredibly strong gun. And if you're using it as a sidearm to fight players, it is a great choice for you. The last of the pistols is the MK2, this little white guy right here. Now, for new players, you may look at this pistol and think it's not very strong. It shoots .22 ammo, which is the weakest ammo in the game. And in general, even with a 10-round mag, you're not really going to kill someone unless you really lay into them with it with every bullet. It's not the strongest gun from the outside looking in. But once you get into the game and you understand it better, the ammo that this gun takes, the .22, comes in 50-round boxes. It is the highest stacking ammo in the game. So you could get 50 bullets from one box of ammo for this gun. And unlike the Makarov, any of these guns that could take a suppressor, unlike them, let's say the Glock had a suppressor on it and I shot 20 zombies with it, I would have to then get a weapon cleaning kit to repair the Glock suppressor separate from the Glock body, and both of them would be taking damage. The MK2 does not work like that. It has an integral suppressor. So there's a suppressor in this barrel here. And what that means is when you get into the late game and you have no stamina because you have a plate carrier and you have a billion bullets on you and a bunch of beefsteak, right? It means that you don't have to worry about fighting the infected with your hands. And you could take them out instantly by shooting them in the head. The MK2 goes into A tier. New players may look at this right now and they may tune off again, just like the Longhorn, but I promise you, as you get better and you understand the game better, this gun is like a blessing. It's like the cooking pot of guns. It has such a utility that it goes beyond comprehension of a lot of players, okay? So MK2 goes in A tier. Please don't be hurt. Next up, we have the PP Bison. We're on to the submachine guns, it looks like. And the PP Bison is a very good gun. It shoots 380 out of a 64 round magazine. So the magazine is quite large. You can see it right underneath here, this long thing under the barrel. And you may be thinking 64 rounds is crazy, bro. That's a lot of bullets. And you're right. That is a lot of bullets. The reality, though, is that gun's going to jam before you let those 64 bullets out of it, right? Jams quite often, as much as any other gun probably, but when you have 64 bullets in your magazine, you have 64 chances for that jam to occur. It occurs more than I would like to admit. And it's shooting 380, and it is a rather powerful 380, but we're going to go ahead and put this at the top of D tier above these two pistols here. Next up, we have the Vickr. We kind of jumped in power here. This is a submachine gun that really is more of a AR. It's like shooting 9x39 rounds. So it's a submachine gun that's shooting rounds associated with rifles, with the VSS and the AS-Val. It is shooting subsonic rounds, but the actual gun is not subsonic. And if there's any gun experts, they could let us know in the comments. But the Vickr is a very strong gun. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the top of C tier, right above these guys, because although it is very strong, the alternatives to it are much better. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Next up, we have the SSG, the MP5, the submachine gun right here. There are 3 different magazines we could get for this. I believe it is a 10, a 15, and a 30. And we could put all sorts of Western optics on it. So ACOGs, the combat sight, all of these guys will go on this guy. And it is shooting 9mm. It is a very good submachine gun, and it really buzzsaws. It shoots all the bullets at once. We're going to go ahead and put this at the top of D tier, right above this Bison, because I think it's a little bit stronger than this guy right here. Next up, we have the Scorpion. It is essentially a weak version of the Bison. The only benefit that the Scorpion has above the Bison is that it has a very short barrel. And what that means is when you're clearing hallways, it doesn't raise. You know how guns raise when you get too close to the wall? This guy never raises. So it does have that going for it. We're going to go ahead and put this in F tier. We're gonna go put it at the bottom, top of the F tier here, and we're moved on. Oh no, I still have one more submachine gun. What am I doing? Next up, we have the apparently this is shooting .45, so just like the FNX earlier, what I said, it can stagger zombies when you hit them. So if you shoot a zombie, they'll go and for new players, that can be very strong. Alongside this, it takes all Western optics. A very strong gun. We're gonna go ahead and put this at the bottom. We'll put it right here, above the Deagle and the Magnum, I think, in C tier. Now, we have the single barrel shotgun. It's important to note, if you're good at aiming, all shotguns are very good for you. If you're a Flickmeister, shotguns are the play. They are very powerful. It doesn't matter how many bullets you have, because you could really clear someone out with the double barrel no matter what they have on them if you hit the shotgun bullets correctly and you're close enough to them. But first, we have the single barrel shotgun. We're gonna go ahead and put this in D tier, right underneath these guys right here. We have the double barrel shotgun. We're gonna go ahead and put this right above in D tier. And then we have the pump shotty, and we're gonna go ahead and put this in C tier, the very bottom. Now, here, I'm just not gonna use this one. That way we don't have to confuse this here. Are these shotguns more powerful than some of the alternatives here? Like, would I rather have the shotgun over just the Deagle? Yes, 100%. But the shotgun is a primary weapon that goes on your shoulder, and even then, it's really unreliable. Shotguns nowadays, man, they are finicky as can be. It could be all over the place. And this isn't even including the R12, which is not in the list right here, but I will put it in the list at the end. I don't know. No, I'm gonna go ahead right there. I think that's perfect. Yeah. Next up, we have the Vega. We're gonna go ahead and put this at the top of C tier. It is a shotgun that can go full automatic, where this pump shotgun and this double barrel have to shoot and then reconquer their ammo. You could get magazines for the Vega and you could really unload. In close quarters, if you're shooting fully automatic out of a Vega drum mag, I mean, there's not much that could really withstand that, right? So a very powerful gun that has a very specific niche place in the game. The last submachine gun that I think we have here that I should have actually had earlier, they put it in the rifles here, is the AK-74U. And this is the shorter version. So right next up, we have the AK-74. That's a full-blown AK, right? And then we have a little snub, little short one here. We're going to go ahead and put this in D tier. It is not a good gun. It recoils all over the place. And although it feels strong because you feel like you're shooting an AK, you're barely shooting an AK, my friend. We're going to go ahead and put it in D tier. Next up, we have the AK-74, and this is just the grown-up version of that AK-74U. We're going to go ahead and put this in C tier at the very top. It is an AK, but here is the separation. When you have the AK-74, you are going to be shooting against plate carriers, and the ammo that it takes does not do well versus armor. It is 5.45. That is a flesh round, so it's not made to penetrate through armor. So when you shoot people with armor, that's like a real world circumstance. So in the game, when you shoot people with armor, it takes way more bullets to knock them unconscious. So we're going to go ahead and put that at C tier at the top. 5.45 AK. No blend, really. Next up, we have the AK-101. We're going to put this in B tier. We're going to put it in A tier. It is an incredibly strong rifle. It's shooting 5.56. Just like the AK-74, they control almost identical. The separation is the AK-101 is shooting 5.56. That's why there's a huge separation. 5.56 ammo will kill a plate carrier if you hit them 3-4 times in their chest. They're going unconscious. Versus this 5.45 is going to take considerable more amount of bullets. After that, we have the AKM. This is going to go in A tier. We're going to actually put this MK2 at the bottom of the A tier. The AKM is going to be at the top of the A tier right now. It could take this 30 round mag and a 75 round drum. This is actually, for me personally, the AKM is my favorite gun in the game. If you ever played Counter-Strike, it's like that AK in this game, right? I love this gun. I love the recoil pattern. I love the control. A lot of the American 5.56 variants shoot a little bit too fast, but I find that these AKs shoot at a much better pace to where I could control the recoil and really manage the firing a little bit better. Next up, we have the AS Val. The AS Val is shooting 9x39 ammo, which is a very strong ammo, and it's subsonic. So as we talked about earlier with the Vicker, the AS Val and the Vicker are kind of born from the same family. The difference is the Vicker does not have an integrally suppressed thing, and the AS Val does have an integrally suppressed barrel. Sorry, not thing. So just like the MK2 earlier, AS Val's barrel is suppressed as well. This gun is actually found in higher tier military area, and it is very strong, but it has this like canted side on it, like a side optic on it, that makes it a little bit difficult for me to operate. For those of you that like that canted optic, this is going to be something like up your alley that you're going to actually really enjoy and probably lean into a little bit. We're going to go ahead and put this in B tier. Next up, we have the first AUG, and this is the bullpup AUG. So this AUG only takes the waffle magazine, and you can see the waffle magazine below it. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. You cannot put any optics on it. It has a locked in fixed scope here. And the recoil pattern on this guy is very similar to a popcorn machine. Like it goes just right or left all the time. It's like, it's bouncing all over the place. It's really hard to kind of predict or understand or control its recoil pattern. It's all over the place. We're gonna go ahead and put this in C tier right below the AK-74 because I do not respect this gun at all. Next up, we have the AUG AX. Now this is the adult grown-up version of this other AUG, and it could take any CMAG type of gun. So it could take a Stanag, a CMAG, 10, 20, 30, 40, 60 coupled, right? It could take any of those magazines, and you could put an optic on it. It's one of the strongest guns in the entire game. If you ever come across this gun, grab it immediately. It is in S tier. Next up, we have the FAMAS, a true buzzsaw, an incredibly fast shooting gun. that shoots out of this 25 round mag. You can only find the mag specific to it though, so it is a very niche gun. The optic on it is really terrible, and you can't put any optics on top of it either. You can saw that off, and it does get a little bit better, but in general, you're not really going to be using it for the optic. You're going to be using it for hip fire and deleting someone from 5 meters away. We're going to go ahead and put this at the top of the B tier. Next up, the M16. So this is going to be 5.56. You could use all the mags for it, except for the waffle mag. And the difference is you cannot put an optic on this bad boy, and it does not go full auto. So this is a very good gun if you get it like middle game, and it can be good late game, but in general, you're going to want to be moving to something that gives you a little bit more freedom when it comes to optics you're going to use and firing rate. So we're going to go ahead and put this on C tier, right in between the AK-74 and the AUG here. It is a very good gun, but it's not going to like favor you in fights. It's going to make the fight a little bit more challenging for you, whereas someone has some of the alternatives we're about to go over, it may be a little bit easier for them, okay? Next up, we have the M4, and this is essentially the M16 on steroids. It can go full auto. It does not, does it have burst fire? I don't think it has burst fire. And on top of that, you can put whatever optic you want on top of it. It has a very insane rate of fire. It shoots so fast. And because of that, you can really delete someone quickly. If you get used to the rate of fire, you can control it. It is a very easy pattern. I believe it's up to the right. You just pull down to the left, and it's like a buzzsaw. It shoots straight like a laser beam. We're going to go ahead and put this on S tier at the very top here, right below the AUG, because it is a little bit weaker. The AUG is a little bit more reliable, to me at least, personally. I believe stat-wise, the M4 does a little bit more damage, though, so maybe I'll put it there just because I think it legitimately is the better of the two. Next up, we have the LAR. This is shooting 308 ammo. 308 ammo, which is normally reserved for sniper rifles, and you could go full auto with it. With that being said, you can put big optics on it, but it doesn't do great over range. The barrel is not that long on this gun, so it doesn't carry big damage over range compared to other 308s that you're going to be shooting in the game. But with that being said, that's not really what you're using it for. You're using it to clear medium to close range encounters and really delete someone. We're going to go ahead and put this at the very bottom of S tier. Next up, we got the Sporter. This is F tier. It is very loud. It shoots 22 ammo, which we're going to want to use exclusively for the MK2 pretty much. It's not the homie, dude. It has a bunch of magazines. You can put a hunting optic on it, but even when you put the hunting optic on it, it does not line up right. So if you put a hunting optic on this gun and you think you're going to shoot at that thing and you have the optic perfectly on him, it's going to shoot above him every time. It is terrible. We're going to go ahead and put it down, actually. We're going to put it right behind the Longhorn. I think it's a bad gun. You shouldn't use it. Next up, we have the 545 SSG sniper rifle. Like I said earlier, 545 is not good at penetrating armor. This is not a very good gun. We're going to go ahead and put it in D tier. It has a fixed optic on it, so that is the saving grace, is that optic is always going to be there kind of reliably. But it's not something that you're going to want to use. I'm actually going to put it, yeah, we'll put it above these two. Perfect, D tier. The BK, a beautiful gun. I can't tell you how many times this gun has gotten me fully kitted. It shoots 7.6239 out of one bullet. You could chamber it. And just because it's got me geared, it doesn't change the fact that it is an awful gun. We're going to put this in F tier, right above the Sporter, right above the Longhorn as well, because I believe, no, we'll put it below the Longhorn. It's not a good gun, guys. We're not going to want to be using this guy. The CR is essentially a leveled up version of that thing. We can put a 5-round magazine into it. It's shooting the same bullet, 7.6239, and we can put a hunting optic on this bad boy as well. But with that being said, it's not great. So we're going to go ahead and put this in D tier right there. Had to make it a little bit smaller here. We're running out of room. Next up, we have the Pioneer, which is the Scout, the Stayer Scout. It's a good gun. You can put all kinds of different optics on it, all the Western optics, and it has a 5-round magazine. It's shooting 5.56. Alongside that, if you put a suppressor on this thing, boy howdy, because Western suppressors are meant to last on M4s, so they last quite a long time. You're going to be shooting one bullet at a time. So that is the one saving grace of this rifle, is that if you get a suppressor on it, you could literally at people and they'll have no idea. It's so hard to read where it comes from. Not the greatest rifle. We're going to go ahead and put this in C tier, right above that shoddy there. Next up, we have the Blaze. The one saving grace of the Blaze is that you can put it on double shot. So you can essentially use 2 bullets at once when you use the Blaze. I don't like the Blaze personally, but I know a lot of people think it is a good gun. We're going to go ahead and put this in C tier right above the Scout because it is shooting 308. So it's going to hurt a little bit more than the Scout is, but not a great gun. Next up, we have the Tundra. This is going to be an A tier. This is a sniper rifle that shoots 308, and look at the barrel length. I mean, it's definitely magnified a little bit more than this gun, but it's a long gun. It goes for a while there. It shoots with a hunting scope, and it has an internal mag. It's maybe my favorite sniper in the game. I just love the way it sounds and the way it feels, and it has reliably killed players more often than not for me. After this, we have the Savannah, and the Savannah is essentially a Winchester that has a magazine, a Tundra that has a magazine inside of it. You can use the same optics, the only difference being this guy has a magazine and the Tundra does not. So we're gonna go ahead and put this at B tier, right at the top there. Next up, we have the Mosalina, and the Mosin is going to go into B tier, right below the Savannah. With that being said, I prefer the Mosin to the Savannah. I don't know why, I just like the internal mag, and I really like the PU optic. It's an incredibly powerful gun. Dude, I lied. I'm putting it above. I'm putting this one above. I'm putting it above. The Mosin does more damage than the Tundra, guys, just so you know. It's just, yeah, I have to switch it. But the SV98, this is the op. And as many of you know, recently, this gun has gotten a huge buff based on new optics in the game. It is the furthest ranging gun in the entire game. It can range way out there. I believe the furthest, I don't even know what it is. I'm not even going to try and take a guess. Someone could right below. I think it is the strongest sniper rifle when it comes to damage. We're going to put it at the top of A tier because if you can get your hands on this bad boy, boy howdy, are people in trouble if you get it at range. Next up is the DMR, and the DMR without question is A tier at the very top. This is the best gun in the entire game, and it's not close, okay? I want that to be very clear. It is the strongest gun in the entire game, and it's not close. If you ever see it, grab it before your greedy little friends get their paws on it, because they will not let it go. You can put all kinds of optics on it. You can put the same optics on it that you can on the SV98, that new super optic that's like 16 or 24 or whatever it is. And you can put that on this bad boy too. The strongest gun in the game, the DMR. Next up, we have the SK, this bad boy right here. An incredibly powerful gun. It has an internal magazine, so you don't have to worry about repairing the magazine and repairing the gun. It shoots 7.6239, a round that you find throughout the entire game. And in general, you find this in the middle to the late game. And it has a place everywhere. It can fight close range. It could fight medium range. It could fight medium to long with like a PU scope, which you can put on top of it. C tier right above the AK-74 because I believe, it's hard for me. I actually want to put this in B tier, but I'm going to put it right below the 74. Yeah, right below the 74 because it is better than these two, I think. And it is the most versatile gun in the game. If you come across this gun, it's just like, it covers all of your bases in one single unit. Next up, we have the SVD. This is shooting Mosin ammo 7.6254. It is really strong. It is almost as strong as the DMR. And we're going to put it in S tier right above the M4 because for what it is, look at that barrel length, baby. That's no joke. It puts out insane damage. Okay, it does so much damage. Incredibly powerful gun. You can only find it at the highest tier areas, and there's a reason for that. It will delete plate carriers like nothing. It is so strong. But the one downfall of it is that barrel length is so long that one, people could spot you easily, and two, it is virtually useless in close range combat. If you take the optic off of it, I really like the iron sight for close quarter combat, but the barrel length makes it really difficult to manage. Next up, we have the VSS, and this really comes down to preference because the VSS and the AS-Val are almost identical, except the VSS does not have that canted sight on it. I prefer the VSS 100 times over because of the optic, but these two guns are virtually identical. I believe the VSS puts out a little bit more damage, but they are both shooting 9x39. They both take the exact same magazines and the exact same optics. I just like this one. It looks a little bit more sexy. I like that natural wood, that rich mahogany. Next up, we have the crossbow. We're gonna go ahead and put this in F tier, right? Yeah, we're gonna put it in F tier at the top because it has a good place. If you're using it for infected, it's a completely silent way to kill infected pretty much, unless someone is incredibly close to you. A very strong gun, F tier right there. Next up, we got the repeater. We're also gonna put this in F tier. It is not a good gun. It's a lever action shooting 357, and as I said, 357 has been nerfed through the floor. We're gonna put it in F tier right above all those other ones. And almost lastly, we have the M70. Wait, what is it called? I believe it's the M70. Grenade launcher, S tier. It's a raiding item, right? If we have this bad boy, we could shoot into a raid. We could shoot pox gas. We can shoot everything. The thumper, as many people call it, is an item that we should always get our hands on if we get an opportunity. Now, I'm going to edit this next part in, but the rack is going to go down here in F tier. And the R12. So we're going to put the R12 right below the Vega here. I think the R12 actually, I'm going to put the R12 right above the Vega. Yeah, I'd put it in C tier. With that being said, this is our tier list. So I think for the most part, a lot of these are no-brainers. Like no one will really disagree that the IJ is not very good or that the P1 is absolute garbage. But a lot of these come down to preference. Like, for example, I really hate the way the recoil works on this AUG, but if you've used it a lot and that's what you're comfortable with, you may have a different opinion. This is just to get everyone a general idea of where the guns last, and if you see some of these higher tier guns, to really get your hands on them as soon as possible. I hope this helped. This is at request of my chat yesterday in stream. They were like, yo, tier list, make it pop, brother. And I was like, okay, I got that in my repertoire, but I'm going to get back to editing. I care about you guys. Be good to each other out there. Or don't.